So
What is up, everybody? Welcome to an opening day edition of Monday Night Throwdown here on BostonSportsRadio.net. I'm Ashish Sharma with Brian Roach, Jake Banter, and John Fernald. Happy opening day, guys.
What up?
hello.
What's going on? What is going on? Hey, you
What
guys
up?
enjoy that nice spanking that the Red Sox handed to the Yankees today?
Yeah, it was the first time in like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it seems like it's been eluding them.
It's been an eternity. Obviously, a lot to talk about. We're going to be a little Red Sox heavy on this show today. Let's start right at the top. The one thing that everyone has had on their minds is the debut of Jackie Bradley Jr. Obviously, was pretty good today. I mean, went 0-2, but drew 3 walks off of CC Sabathia. We'll talk about that. Made a great defensive play. Brian, what were your first impressions of the young rookie?
I think his plate discipline's really good, especially taking a lot of pitches. He took 26 pitches in 5 at bats, so that's like 5 pitches per at bat. And basically, I think he looked pretty good. He battled back for in the second inning against CC Sabathia, being down 0-2, drew a walk, a very important walk. So I think he needs to work on getting the ball in play more, but I mean, what do you expect from a young guy?
Right.
I hear you. No, I mean, I think it went, it went as well as we can expect. It was been the big kind of fuss over the last couple of weeks whether he was going to be up with a big club or not. I think there were strong reasons to bring him up. There were strong reasons to put him down in Pawtucket. But they've made the decision, so we got to hope for the best. And I think, the kid seems like he looked great today. Had a great eye at the bat and was patient at the plate.
Yeah, that walk in the second inning started their 4-run inning, and if he strikes out there, it's 2 outs, first and second, with Iglesias coming up. Not that Iglesias didn't have a big day, but Bradley just showed so much discipline at the plate, and that catch that he made in the third inning, I believe it was, right after that walk, was huge. Cano poked one out to left field, and he made a great play coming in first and then, regaining his composure and getting it. I think there's, big things to come for this kid, regardless if he goes back down once Ortiz is back. I think it was just a huge, huge day for this kid, and we're going to see big things.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when you look at guys that come up for the first time, let's keep in mind that Jackie Bradley Jr. has never played a game even at the AAA level, and now he's making his Major League debut on opening day. He did not look like a rookie to me. He looked incredibly poised. He's facing one of the best left-handed pitchers in the last 10 years, and Jake, according to you, of all time. So, to be able to battle back, as Brian said, against a guy like CC Sabathia, 0-2, down early, battle back and draw a walk. He walked 3 times today, didn't record a hit, had an RBI ground out in front, as you mentioned, that great defensive play. I thought he looked fantastic. Did not look like a rookie. I love the plate discipline, and I think that we are going to see more room for improvement, whether he sticks around or not.
It was his first start in left field too. It was his first professional start in left field, like at any level. So, I mean, he's usually a center fielder, but he'll take over that once Jacoby Ellsbury's gone. Because I think you got to go with Bradley Jr. because Ellsbury is going to want that big money, and the Red Sox need to use it on something other than center field.
A good point with bringing up the money. Another point that's brought up with the Jackie Bradley Jr. thing is that he's a Boris guy as well. He has the same agent as Jacoby. So whether the call-up, send-down situation with the extra year under control, that comes in more to play when it's a Boris client, because Boris is going to ride every bit of his client that he can. He's going to get the most out of them. He's going to get the most money for them. So it is something to consider when you're talking about Jackie Bradley, and I agree with you, Brian. I don't think there's any way that Ellsbury is going to be with the Red Sox in the future years. But it's also good for, as a Red Sox fan, and I think we, most of us are, or at least, I think most of us on here are, and it's good to have a young player to kind of, we're talking about the Bradleys, the Middlebrooks, even the Buckholts, the younger guys, and that's really, it's a realistic look at this team, and those are the guys we got to start looking forward to seeing in the future.
Yeah, and I want to touch base too on his maturity level. Being 22 and never playing, like Ajit said, in the AAA, the kid just came out and he looked like a stud. He looked like a veteran that just his patience was incredible. Putting it in play on his fourth at bat to drive in the fifth run, which at that point for me was huge. It sealed the game. The bullpen looked good, but there were shaky moments where I thought if they didn't score a fifth run, that the Yankees, the door was open for them to come back.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, just to echo the points about Jackie Bradley Jr., the plate discipline, the poise, the patience, everything, the maturity. I think we've got great things in store for this kid. And Jake, just to kind of go back to what you were saying about the Scott Boras being his agent, this is something we talked about 2 weeks ago, in that the Red Sox kind of, in terms of his Major League service time, in terms of looking at when his clock starts, should they have waited these 9 games to call him up to ensure that they do have him again in 2019, they can send him back down for those 20 games, as we talked about, to kind of ensure that he is a Scott Boras client. Is that extra year that much more valuable that you can wait those 9 games? I say it is. What do you guys think?
Personally, it's I think the part of the situation that the Red Sox are in. If they were a more competitive team, I think if Ortiz gets hurt, I don't think it's a question. I think he's down in Pawtucket. I think Ortiz gets hurt, there's really no other legitimate option than putting Gomes at DH. I think Gomes, and then you add how bad Gomes is in left field as well. So it's a combination of things that were going on of why he ended up on the big club. But I think he's going to end up going down before the end of the year. I don't think he's your starting left fielder for the rest of his for the next 10 years. I hope that he is, but let's be honest. I mean, you think he'll never go down to Pawtucket?
I mean, yeah, it was one game so far that we've seen him, but against Sabathia, I think if he can hit 300 and have over 15 runs and, an OBP of somewhere around 400, I mean, there's going to be a lot of talk if it's even worth sending him down just to get that extra year out of him. I mean, if he becomes a star in this league, the Red Sox are going to have to dish out the money anyways. Because
exactly.
If he's your future outfielder, your future leadoff hitter, the Red Sox are a big market team. They're going to give him the money.
Fern, that's true. But when you look at it in the long run, don't you think it's a little bit short-sighted to kind of rush him up when you could have just waited 9 games and ensured that you would hang on to him for an additional year in 2019?
Then who would be the DH right now? I like Johnny Gomes at the DH.
They could have gotten a little creative. They could have gone with Nava. Sweeney got released. Sweeney got released. They could have gone with Nava. They could have gone with Nava on left field.
Nava. Mike Carp.
My point is they could have gotten creative.
And I agree with that.
What I think is, look at it this way. Okay. Contracts for all minor league players once they reach the big leagues. It's 3 years that the team has full control, and the next 3 years are arbitration. So, and he has 5 years for the 20 days, consecutive 20 days. So, I mean, they could put him down next year at the beginning of the year when everyone's healthy.
Right, and we're worrying, too, about a lot in the long term. I agree with you, Fern, not to cut you off there, but I agree with you 100%. I think that it's almost if he outplays the contract and really earns a contract like somebody like Evan Longoria, right, who got that 6-year deal at the beginning of his career and then, outplayed his contract. I mean, I think if he's the left fielder, he's killing it. He's there for the next 3 years. I don't think the Red Sox are going to have any problem to go back before that, re-sign him just to a longer-term deal, 4 or 5 years, and give him a couple million a year. I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, and I agree with Ash.
Own him. We're going to get to, quote-unquote, have him under control for like if he's good enough to play, then the Red Sox are going to re-sign him anyways, and none of this is going to make any difference. Like having him, if he's not good, having the extra control over him isn't going to make any difference.
Yeah, I know. By that time, 2018, 2019, he's going to be in his late 20s.
Right.
And, I agree that with Ash that the sample size isn't there, but we can all agree with his hot spring, the kid's got tremendous upside. And, through the first 6 to 10 games, you know, who knows? I mean, let's see what the kid can do. I mean, at this point, Farrell's got him on the roster, and he's going to be starting in left field.
Right. No, obviously, it's one game. We don't know how much longer he'll be here. 0 for 2 with 3 walks and an RBI on a ground out. I think it's pretty promising what we've seen.
I'm ready to put him in the Hall of Fame.
Well, there you go. Well, speaking of the pitching matchup today between Lester and Sabathia, we'll talk about both pitchers. I want to start with our guy, John Lester. I thought he was phenomenal today. Only went 5 innings. I thought he could have gone one more, at least 5+. But I'm looking at his final stat line here. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. I thought he was pretty good. Obviously ran into a little bit of trouble, that jam in the 4th inning. Got out of it with minimal damage. 2 runs did come in. But I thought other than that, Brian, he was pretty good.
He hit no hit the Yankees for almost 3 innings, or was it something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, not that the Yankees lineup is a beast of a lineup at this moment in time, but he was working his cutter inside. He was working it on the outside of the plate. He was using that pitch to his advantage. He needs to keep his pitch count down going forward. But the Yankees, they always work the count and stuff like that. So I expect his next start against the Blue Jays to be about the same. Like maybe go a couple more innings, maybe give up a run or 2, but keep the Sox in it. So I expect a big year out of Lester. Maybe even the Cy Young.
Wow, the Cy Young. Wow. Okay. I'll take that. But here's the thing about Lester is he had a down year last year, but let's be honest, this is basically a contract year for him. Whether he pitches this exactly, which is like why I brought a little bit of money here today for that. It's a contract year, so you got to expect him to have a good year. Whether he has a good year in the Red Sox, it's a team option, so the Red Sox will have an option to bring him back next year for $13 million, which would be a steal. But you could also see Lester pitching great and then going back at the Red Sox and saying, hey, I'm going to sit out, I'm going to be a pain, I'm not going to come in, give me a long-term deal. And I see if he has a great year, the Red Sox will probably do that, If they want to sign him to the team extent, the extra 1 year, they should want to get him for more than that, and that's kind of where he's at right now. You don't think so? I mean, what would be the point of keeping him for the 1 year for $14 million? You're making a major commitment at $14 million.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd definitely sign him to a multi-year deal. The thing with Lester is he's a workhorse, and tonight he got himself into a little bit of trouble with pitch count. 50 pitches through 3 innings, and then in the 4th inning, the jam he got himself in, he ended up throwing, I think, 36 pitches. Mm-hmm. And that was the biggest inning for me to look at John Lester really improving with his mind and getting himself into a jam, throwing a couple pitches in the dirt, having a guy have a 2-run single. He really stayed composed and not even, the pitching coach didn't even really come out and talk to him too often. I mean, him and Salty just really worked it out. And the thing that impressed me the most about Lester was his craftiness with his pitches. I mean, his fastball topped out today probably around 93, and he didn't even really get it up there that often. But his cutter was just so impressive, and his curveball had so much bite that he just kept the batters off balance. And Brian touched on that. The Yankees lineup right now isn't stellar, and they're not that awesome, but against anyone, on opening day to see Lester go 5 strong innings and give up 2 runs, 7 Ks, it wasn't phenomenal, but it was good, and we got the win.
Yeah, no, he started off great, but obviously, as you mentioned, his cutter was good, his curveball was good. A little bit later in his outing around the 4th and 5th inning, he had a little bit of trouble keeping stuff down in the zone. He was missing his spots high a little bit, and that's where the Yankees were able to capitalize. But kind of going back to the contractual side of Lester's, status this year, it can be a contract year for him because remember, the Red Sox hold the cards here. They have the $13 million team option, and it would be in the best interest for them to kind of hold that back and say, you know what, we want you to earn it. We're not gonna make any guarantees. We're not gonna approach you about an extension right now. We're gonna treat this like a contract year, and if you pitch well, we pick it up and then maybe talk, a long-term deal. And if you don't pitch well, sorry, you'll be wearing a different uniform next year and maybe for a lot less money, right?
Like I think the Sox should hold all the cards right now with that team option. I think basically that Lester needs to prove that he can be that ace pitcher that the Sox need in order to compete in the AL East. Because look at the other teams in the AL East besides the Baltimore Orioles.
They're not even that bad. They're pitching. Yeah. They got a decent staff.
Well, I know, but they don't have an ace. Okay. Because Toronto has R.A. Dickey. I consider Josh Johnson their ace.
I would say Josh Johnson.
Fourth starter.
Josh Johnson,
yeah.
Absolutely.
But Josh Johnson is their fourth starter right now, so they have a deep pitching staff.
He's probably the best fourth starter in baseball.
Easily, he would be the best third starter in baseball.
Yeah.
He's an ace on any other team, man.
Yeah. And
he was hurt last year, though.
The Yankees have Sabathia. Tampa Bay Rays have David Price, and the Red Sox need their John Lester. So since they lost out on the Felix Hernandez sweepstakes,
this is a question I want to ask that we asked, maybe a month ago when spring training started. Is John Lester really an ace, though? I think he's a great two-starter, but is he really an ace?
He has shown in the past that Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead and finish your thought. And then
I was just gonna say that if he can keep his pitch count down just a little bit and go 6-7 innings instead of just 5 or 6, then he is one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball. Look at what he did today. I mean, besides that 4th inning, he was almost perfect. So.
I agree. I think he needs to avoid that one bad inning that he seems to have every now and then that screws him up. I mean, we talked about the fact that he can appear to be mentally weak at times. He doesn't get a call, or he gets a little dribbler down the line that turns into something else. And then all of a sudden, mentally things unravel. He starts missing his spots, loses his composure. But to answer your question, Fern, yes, he can resemble an ace. I mean, remember a couple years ago in 4 starts, he had 40 strikeouts across 4 starts. I mean, he had 10 strikeouts in 4 consecutive games. To me, that's ace-worthy. Obviously, strikeouts aren't the end-all, be-all, but he was dominant. He was not allowing a lot of hits. He was not giving up earned runs. It's just, can he do that across 30 starts consistently from season to season?
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. I mean, personally, I think that Lester – I kind of agree with what you say, Fern, I don't know if he's the actual number 1 ace. I think he may be a 1A type, where if you could go get somebody else to be I don't know, maybe Buchholz is that guy. Is what I would hope.
I'm not sold on. That's what I think. I think the Red Sox have 2 guys who are young enough still that are great number 2s, and they didn't bring a number 1 in to back up them as their real number 1. I mean, since Beckett, in 2010, I don't think they've had a 1.
Well, it's debatable. I mean, obviously, guys, it's a small sample size. We have, if he can stay healthy, 29 more starts, 30 more starts to look at this. Speaking of aces, I do want to move on now to the Yankees ace, CC Sabathia. And it's Jake, once again, the greatest left-handed pitcher of all time.
No, I said, what did I say? Top
3. You went from top 10. You went from top 10 to top 5. To top 3 within 10 seconds.
Top 5.
We didn't even discuss. We couldn't even discuss whether he was the top 10 or top 5.
I know, you just kind of sped ahead there. You just kind of sped ahead. He ran away with that one, but
left-handed.
I think CC Sabathia easily one of the best left-handed pitchers in the game today. Obviously, was not all that great today, guys. He was rocky early, settled down late, but still gave up. What was his final stat line? Let's see. I have it right here, actually. 5 innings, 8.
He gave up 4 runs.
4 earned runs. There you go. 4 earnings, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. Not very sharp. His ERA after 1 game is 7.2.
Good.
Down there.
I mean, he has been having elbow issues. That's why he was shown most of the spring. This is basically not one of his. He hasn't had many starts in spring training, so I mean, we'll see how he settles down throughout the season. But I mean, I think he's starting to get up there in age. The injuries are going to catch up with him. And his weight. I mean, not to call him.
He's trimmed down. He's trimmed down, Brian. He's trimmed down.
Chocolate cake Sabathia. Cheese curl Sabathia.
Yeah, exactly.
CC, as I like to call him, as Mike Adams calls him, CC Fat Ass here. But
I mean, personally, I'm just honestly I'm just jealous because I wish the Red Sox had him. I think he's a horse. I think he pitches 200 innings every year. He's their best player. I mean, I'll put it this way. It's kind of like, yeah, I mean, okay. I like Sabathia. It's okay. We're both big guys.
You're a fanboy. You're a fanboy.
All right,
it's kind of like, all right, let's put it this way, too. I'll give him an excuse for today of why he didn't pitch so well. It's kind of like being in a band and no one else in the band shows up, and now you're having all the backups play or in a play.
So all you big guys have to stick together? Is that what
so, like, you're showing up and you're in the Grateful Dead and you're Jerry Garcia, and you look over and Phil Lesh isn't there, and there's no Bob Weir, and they're all replaced by other people, you're going to be off your game a little bit, no?
Well, that's what JGB is.
Right.
But anyways, I want to touch on Sabathia's velocity today because he didn't get it over 91 miles per hour today, and he's all of a sudden, with his old age, turning into a finesse pitcher. And for me to watch him today try to out-finesse the Red Sox hitters, he got himself into trouble. He walked 4 guys, and it is his first start of the year, and he is having elbow problems, and that velocity is going to get up. I mean, he's a guy, like you said, as a workhorse. He's going to give up 200 innings. I don't see him not doing that this year. I was just surprised. And still, a lot of the Red Sox hitters were behind that 90-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle.
Yeah.
It killed me. Will Middlebrooks?
It still had bite to it, yeah.
Will Middlebrooks?
Today.
What was that against a pitch right down the middle? You should be putting that over the left field wall. This is a guy that Brian Roach said would hit 36 home runs this year.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
36.
It's game one. Game one.
It is game one, which is why we shouldn't be getting on Sabathia too much. It is only one game. I think he is going to return to form. Obviously, he wasn't that sharp today, but it's start one of the season. And let's be honest. I mean, the Yankees in general is actually the next thing I want to talk about. You look at the lineup for the Yankees today. How many guys are missing? Derek Jeter was not in there. A-Rod wasn't in there. Who else? Curtis Granderson, Marcus Serra. I mean, these guys are all coming. These guys are all coming back.
Yeah.
I wish we could put up that picture of the New Yorker, the April Fool's edition. Has
we
the
should
cover.
be able to.
Yeah.
The cover of that is the old Yankees on the field around the pitching mound with canes and walkers, respirators. I added the respirator thing. That's not on there, but I mean, it gives you an idea of this Yankees team that it's
respirators. Respirators.
It's like, I mean, Mariano Rivera, they've got these posters out in the outfield near the bullpen. Say no, Mo. Say no, Mo, that this is the last year. It's like, yeah, say no, Mo, that he's going to play anywhere. The guy is 70 years old.
The career is over, guy.
I mean, he looks...
No, it is, Eddie. I mean, obviously the Yankees have issues of their own, but I think the Red Sox lineup is looking kind of. I mean, they've got an okay lineup. They've got Iglesias batting ninth, but he was actually pretty good today.
He didn't even hit it out of the infield.
Yeah,
3 for 5. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Hey, Bert, he went 3 for 5. That bunt single I thought was brilliant. Loved it. Loved it, right? I mean, you've got a lefty who's
it's a fast little guy.
Yeah, you got a lefty who weighs 300 pounds falling off to the right side.
He can actually bunt now. Come on, people.
Wow.
His average this year.
Last year he could not bunt a link.
His average this year won't be far off from his slugging percentage.
I don't think he bats over 200 personally.
And I guarantee that his slugging percentage is around 250.
I think he can give you 220.
I say 250.
That's what Salty hits, 225.
Ashish, he's not a major league hitter. He's not major league ready to hit. He couldn't hit himself out of a paper bag.
Yeah.
Granted, he had 3. He went 3.
What are you talking about? He had 3 hits today.
Brian, I could have hit it further than
he can
that.
bunt.
It's
If
one
he can bunt.
game.
No, you could not. I'm not saying he's going to bat 600 the rest of the season.
Okay, no. When I'm talking about Jose Iglesias, I think this is reasonable. Okay, guys, I think he can give you 220, 225. Obviously, I'm hoping for more than that. 5 to 9 homers. I'm not even going to give him double digits. OBP around 280, 300, something like that. I do want to switch gears one more time now. Let's go on to the Red Sox bullpen. Pretty solid. I think we had 4 holes. across. I think Uehara came in, Miller came in, Bailey came in, and Tozawa. All of them came in, and Hanrahan closed it up. None of them gave up any earned runs. I think they allowed one hit across all of them, and Andrew Miller struggled a little bit. He gave up 2 walks, but in his defense, I don't want to make excuses here. It was a little windy at that point when he came in. He allowed 2 walks.
Windy? Ashish, windy?
It was
Yeah,
a little windy.
he
Give me a.
Come on, it was gusty.
I
Hey,
think-
you guys
he threw
Hey, hey, hey,
97. That can't be affected by the wind.
It was a little windy.
You didn't see the tumbleweeds that were made out of the plastic bags and the napkins at Yankee Stadium rolling across the
That's
I
because
know.
the Yankees were being disrespectful and throwing stuff onto the field.
It was a little windy.
They were crushing
Before they
bags
left.
of chips. I think Andrew Miller gets it up around 98, 99 miles per hour, but we're going to see more signs of his wildness this year. He's still young, but
Yeah.
he's got a wild left arm. But I think I love the way the bullpen looked today.
To go
And I
on
want
with
to
his
ask a
wild hair.
question. I want to ask Brian a question, actually, because Brian's the Red Sox genius here. I want to ask him a question.
Whoa.
Andrew Bailey came in, and I thought it was going to be a 4-out performance for him. He came in the 7th with 2 outs, and he looked great against Kevin Youkilis. Why didn't he come back in the 8th inning?
Because they wanted to see Tozawa out there. Tozawa's the setup man of the future.
They wanted to see Taz. I'm gonna start calling him that. I think that's a good nickname.
Yeah, I like that. Let's start that. Hashtag Taz.
Hashtag.
You see
I was gonna
the
start calling him. I was
Yeah.
gonna start calling him JT, but I don't think that's very Japanese sounding. So I'm gonna go with Taz.
I
like
loved I loved the way he looked, and I loved how they went with different pieces. It was almost like a chess match with Farrell, and I think we're going to see more of that. But Andrew Bailey in his defense looked awesome against Kevin Youkilis. But I just want to touch on something that today when I saw Bailey against Youkilis, I just said to myself, this is before even seeing Hanrahan or Tozawa, I was just like, our bullpen is stacked.
Yeah. I agree completely.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep.
I love it. I
And
love the
That's
way
what
he's looking.
with guys that can throw 95 to 100.
Yeah.
So
You know,
like even
and Tozawa
Even,
got it
what's
up
his
around
name?
95 today.
Yeah.
Clayton Mortensen, that guy's a
yeah,
bump.
and Uehara his throws 94, 95.
And
I like
guys,
it.
I mean, again, I think we're getting a little carried away with the one game, but I think
Yeah.
from what we've seen in the small sample size, I'm really excited. The one thing I will say, though, for the Yankees' sake, is I hope that Jabba Chamberlain shaves that god-awful thing he grew on his face. I don't know what the hell that was.
Are you serious?
What kind of lip fur was that? Did you guys see that?
Have you seen me without this beard? My mustache
Oh,
is
yeah.
almost as nice.
It is. It's
I
actually,
saw, I
If you
saw
say
him-
so. If you say
I
so.
saw,
I
I
do.
saw him warming up, and I was so psyched to see him come on because the Yankees are an organization that don't let you have beards. And here comes Jabba Chamberlain. He's just like, you know what? I want to do something a little differently. I'm going to throw on the Amigo mustache, and I'm going to come out there in the 9th inning. I'm going to shut the Red Sox down. Well, guess what, Jabba Chamberlain?
That's why
It blew up
he-
in your face.
And that's why he gave up runs.
Yeah.
That's why
Because-
he gave up 3 runs. That
Look at the
mustache. They were
mustache.
like,
He needs a
oh,
mustache.
we
I
can
know.
read his pitches.
Well, no, but seriously, I mean, I think that
Like
he
Derek
wanted to
Holland
catch.
last year. Did you see his mustache?
That was the molester stash. This is the Amigo Mexican stash. And I'm pretty sure Jabba Chamberlain's Native American. He's not Mexican. It's more that he found a caterpillar out in the bullpen and put it on his face.
Hey guys, Bruins talk. We are done with the Red Sox talk. Let's move on to some hockey now. Jerome Iginla, what were your reaction to this deal here? Well, Brian, we'll start with you again.
Well, first off, it should have happened. I don't know. Iginla basically was like, "F you, Bruins! Like, let's go to the Penguins." Yeah, that seems like a good idea, even though they're already the best team in the Eastern Conference. I mean, maybe he just wanted to bring them over the edge so he can get that Stanley Cup. So that's my take on it. Iginla's a beast. That's all I have to say. Stupid Bruins.
I literally cried. I went to bed thinking that we had him, and woke up in the morning
Exactly.
texting
That's what I did
random
too.
friends. I was like, "Oh, remember that time we had that? Video. Like I always would play with him on video games, and always have him on the Bruins. And it was like, oh, now he's coming to the Bruins. It's exactly what the Bruins needed. Somebody on the wing somebody physical who can play the Bruins style, can play two ways, and put the puck in the net. Because the problem is that what scares me about these other options, they talk about St. Louis. Well, St. Louis ain't getting back on defense, and St. Louis is not going to be forechecking at all. He's going to be skating around. He's going to be – we already have a player almost similar to St. Louis as Krejci, in my opinion. I think they're very similar. It's taking Krejci 2-3 years to figure out. To get on Claude's good side, you got to get back on D, and you got to forecheck, and you have to be an active participant on both ends of the ice and not just, trying to dangle and score goals. So it was a very, very sad day, in my opinion. I think he would have been great with Krejci. It would have really gave us another winger to put up on one of those two front lines that really would have been able to put the puck away.
But in the end of the day, as a Boston sports fan, yeah, it sucks, but it was up to him. I think it's something that Chiarelli didn't really pay attention to. Granted, the GM from Pittsburgh who told Chiarelli the deal was done, shame on him, because really he should have never said that. He said, we've got this deal in place. Now we need to go talk to Jerome Ginla and see if he actually wants to go, because at any time he could have vetoed any deal with any team. And in the end, we should have looked at something. This guy won a gold medal with Canada playing with a young Crosby. And the Pittsburgh Penguins are the best team in the East. Where does an old guy that can still score goals want to go?
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's why he ultimately chose Pittsburgh. And another thing I want to touch on, too, is as a Boston sports fan, how many times have we seen deals be almost done and another team, with Teixeira? I'm glad we didn't get him.
Oh, yeah.
But
Dempster last year. Dempster.
I know, but when has Boston ever swooped in on anyone and gotten a player?
A-Rod?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't want A-Rod.
Yeah, but Boston sports.
You can say that now. Everybody wanted A-Rod. Give me a break.
Is it something along the lines as,
no, of course.
Do players not want to come to Boston? I don't know what it is.
Fern, this is always, for some reason, especially with the Celtics, I don't know why, but they always use the Celtics as an example. This has never been a sexy place to play. We're not Cleveland. This isn't Detroit. I don't understand why that is. But then guys come here and they understand the history of the various franchises we have in Boston, and they love it.
There's racial stuff with that. That's what it is. Bill Russell was notorious for saying that.
It is a racist city. It has been. You go back to the 70s and 80s with the busing stuff that happened.
That's neither here nor there. I think it's the reputation of Boston as a racist city for people that aren't there. It's hard to say, A, you're a racist city, B, you're not. I think it's the reputation that hurts. I remember Torrey Hunter said something like that, who's known as one of the nicest kind of guys, blah, 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 blah. Was I would never go to Boston. Barry Bonds told, Barry Bonds, I remember Bonds saying that. Oh, I'd never go to Boston. I've heard horrible things about it. Players that, I think part of it too is that the players that travel here, they have that already in their head, and then the way that people are in Boston, where they're a little more edgy, people aren't as kind of smiley, nice on the outside. So it kind of just plays into that whole kind of thought process of Boston being somewhere that they don't want to play. But I agree with you, Fern. I think it's an absolute great point. It seems like we tell everybody that we have them. We're like the guy that tells everybody that they got a hot date with this girl, and then we never get to really take the girl out.
Yeah, and there was another player, I forget who it was, but it was definitely with the Red Sox, looking to come here. I don't know if it was Torrey Hunter, but his wife, wouldn't even let him. She's like, you're not playing.
Cliff Lee.
Yeah, Cliff Lee. She's like, you're not playing for the Boston Red Sox. I sat in the stands, and it was terrible.
They spit on me.
People are ruthless out there.
And Philly's any better?
Well, that's the thing.
Philly fans are the worst.
But in Jerome Ginla's defense, too, what offensive player wants to play for Claude Julien?
Yeah.
Especially at the end of their career, they don't want to work their ass off to score goals. They want any milk and putting it on your stick.
Yeah.
Whoa. Also, Claude Julien plays everyone even amount of minutes, no matter who you are.
No, it's a pain.
And that's it
was the stat. I think I brought it up. A couple of weeks ago that the Bruins don't have a player in the top 50, a winger, a forward in the top 50 in the top 50 minutes played by any forward. We don't have one player that's played in the top 50 of anybody in the NHL. That means other teams have 3-4 guys that have, at least every other team has one other, because a lot of the guys, they play all the power plays. I mean, I would love to see Sagan on every power play. Krejci on every power play.
I would love to see these guys getting more minutes than other players on the team.
Put some home. Put them in the puck. Put them in the net, I mean.
Give them 10 more minutes or 5 more minutes a game, and the guy might score 50 goals in an 82-game season.
The power play specifically, it's funny because everybody, it's almost like an anomaly at this point with the power play where it's like, let's not even talk about it. Because we just know it's bad. We know we're not good at it. We might as well just quit. So we're a good 5-on-5 team.
Exactly. No, but I mean, you look at what Claude is doing. I mean, he has shook up the lines in the last few games. I mean, Milan Lucic got bumped to the third line, and then he's just kind of moving things around. Lucic is having.
Well, he deserves it the way he's been playing.
He's been playing horribly. So I mean, you just look at what they're doing, and I mean, how many games are left in the regular season now? I mean, they've got like a month and a half. So I mean, just see if they can carry some momentum into the playoffs and then just kind of go from there. Because we see this all the time across sports. It's not how you're playing now. It's how you're playing at the
exactly. Look at the Baltimore Ravens. Look at the Baltimore Ravens.
Example. They were terrible at the end of the year.
Terrible.
What was the score against the Broncos at the end of the year? It was like
terrible.
38-3.
Yeah. So I would like to add too of Hudobin is playing really well. Really, really well. It's making people consider whether Tuukka is really the goalie of the future. Maybe if you ride Hudobin and you wait till Subban's brother gets ready to play, and I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
I don't think there's any chance that Hudobin sees time in the playoffs this year.
No, you can't.
I mean, unless Tuukka Rask gives up 5-6 goals in multiple games in April. Hudobin's, he's just there to give Rask rest right now, and hopefully he continues to play the way he is because the Bruins can still sneak in as a 2 seed.
I agree. I don't think that there's any question. Montreal, though, I've been telling everybody, watch out for Montreal. Those sneaky French
Canadians. Those Canadians.
French Canadians.
Yeah, but will everybody agree with me that the Montreal Canadiens are the luckiest team in the NHL?
Yeah.
They just seem to go out there, the game against the Bruins recently, where the Bruins are up 4-2, and then they're up 5-3 with about 5 minutes left. And that 6-on-4 goal goes off Chara's stick.
Yeah. Oh, that was awful.
8 seconds left.
Well, there you go. All right, guys. Hoops time. Who's ready? Boom. All right. Obviously, the Celtics have been struggling lately. There's no question about it. Courtney Lee is back after missing a few games. KG has been out with an ankle injury. Paul Pierce is not playing tonight against the T-Wolves. Very up and down. I mean, this is probably the streakiest Celtics team I've seen in a while. They go on a 5-game winning streak, then they'll go on a 5-game skid. Most recently, they lost to the Knicks.
Just wait until the playoffs, guys. Come on.
I agree.
And they're gonna put it together.
We are a bunch of optimists here, aren't we?
Bradley has only averaged like 6 to 8. I think it's either 6 points or 8 points over the last 8 games.
He's been awful.
Shooting only like 20%.
He's been absolutely awful.
Yeah, I want to see him shoot the ball more like he's been doing, but I want him to see it actually go in. Maybe he needs to do something with his pregame routine, eat a taco. I don't know. He needs to do something. He needs to like just drink a gallon of Gatorade.
Well, I think
it all hyped up.
It shows that you can't really rely on Avery Bradley to be your number 1 or even your number 2 option on offense. I mean, I think with Garnett out, you're looking at Bradley to be scoring a little bit more with Pierce, obviously. I mean, Pierce almost had a triple-double last night. I mean, Pierce is still playing at an all-star level. I think what a lot of people forget is Pierce is older. He's still I think he had 17 rebounds last night. I mean, Paul Pierce is a ways, still has another run in him. I think I agree with you as well, Brian, with the playoffs is that let's just take it easy till the playoffs. Love to meet the Knicks in the first round. I think the Celtics take the Knicks in 5. I don't think it's even a question.
I think that you're out of your mind, honestly. With the way that the Celtics are playing right now. I mean, I know KG's out, but let's look at that against the Knicks.
Whoa! That's without KG also.
I know, but I mean, the Knicks have added Kenyon Martin. They're playing great basketball. They're deep. The Celtics aren't deep at all with guys that actually have been around the NBA and put up
Slavic
Randolph,
Oh
DJ
my
White,
God.
Terrence Williams, Jordan Crawford. They've got the pieces.
Jordan Crawford's a beast.
Yeah, and out of all those guys, Jake, I mean, to Brian's defense, I'm really loving Jordan Crawford right now.
Oh my God.
I really am.
What an idiot he is.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Whoa,
But
he shoots deep threes.
And
Do you see how deep his threes can be?
He's one of the best passers on the team. Yeah, but he's one of the best passers on the team.
Why shoot? Oh God, he's garbage. I just listening to him talk makes me want to.
If you can make it, take it.
It makes you want to punch a baby.
It makes me want to punch a baby or put my head into a meat grinder, one or the other. But I still think the Celtics got a shot. I still do.
Yeah,
I think Jeff Green. You Jeff Green. And let's talk. I know this is even next year, right? When you take Rondo coming back, you got Rajon Rondo, you got Avery Bradley, you got Pierce, Jeff Green, and Garnett. That's a great team.
Yeah.
If Rondo doesn't get hurt.
Isn't that what we said this year? I know Rondo got hurt, but they started playing better after Rondo got hurt. So, is that really a valid argument, Jake?
I do. I think with Avery Bradley playing the way that he's playing, I can't wait to get Rondo back on this team.
Me
too.
I
Jason Terry's heating up. Guys.
Yeah, but Jason Terry right off the bench.
Get
right
off
the bench.
Jason Terry bandwagon.
Yeah.
Come on. He's been so inconsistent.
He is. He's.
But recently, playoff time is when he gets hot, guys. Come on. He's gonna go 5 for 5 every night from 3-point land.
Jason Terry has been exactly like the Celtics have been since Rondo's been out.
Agreed.
Mr. Inconsistency.
I agree.
I mean, look, I'm waiting for Jason Terry to show up and actually be what we saw, the clutch performer with the Mavs. But he hasn't really kind of settled into a role yet with the Celtics. I mean, he's had his moments, but
he's too old. He's old.
How old is he, Nate?
Do you guys remember when the Celtics got Dominique Wilkins? We just get players sometimes when they're old. Doesn't mean they're not good. Doesn't mean Jason Terry wasn't good.
Exactly.
He's just old.
But Jason Terry
is old.
He makes all of his shots.
Jason Terry can still knock down those triples.
But he makes.
That's fine. Play 20 minutes a game. Don't expect him to do much more than that.
He makes all those shots when they're up 15 or down 20.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's a good point.
But I mean, go ahead, Jake.
No, I mean, I don't think Jason Terry is really the issue with the Celtics here. I don't think the 6-man 3-point shooter is really the issue. The main issue is we don't have the bigs.
I blame Brandon Bass.
Look at this too.
Brandon Bass.
Last night as well, Chandler didn't play. Tyson Chandler is the most underrated player in the NBA, in my opinion. Hands down. He defends the rim like nobody.
He's on my fantasy team.
I think Joakim Noah might be the most.
Joakim Noah the same way, but Tyson Chandler defends the rim, doesn't let anybody around, and I don't know. I mean,
Joakim Noah upsets me.
Yeah, Tyson Chandler, speaking of him, he won Defensive Player of the Year last year. He wasn't even on the all-defense team. I don't know how that happened.
That's crazy.
I don't know how that's
one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Yeah, silly. Okay, so does anyone really think that the Celtics have any chance of beating the Heat?
I don't think so. I said this
out of 100
games.
Out of 100 games, okay? Out of 100 games, how many games do the Celtics win?
I think, the Heat probably win 60 to 65 games. I really think, and I was caught
I don't think they win 80.
I was caught on here before that Heat game in Boston.
Yes, you
talking
were.
Talking about how the Celtics had no chance. And you know what? I really do believe if, even without Rondo, in a 7-game series, they could give the Heat trouble. I really do. And the key
it's the hard thing. I think it's the hard thing.
Well, the key player to this is Jeff Green really stepping up.
It's got to be Jeff Green. Yeah, you look at what he's done. I'm looking at his stats right now. 19, 21, 27, 27. He's getting it done.
Yeah, he was just nominated for Eastern Conference Player of the Week, and he actually lost that to J.R. Smith, who's been going off. He's had such a good year, but Jeff Green is somebody that needs to get the ball. He needs to tell Doc Rivers, look, I need 38 minutes. I need you to get me the ball.
I think that's what they did in the Cleveland game when they came up to him in the final for the final shot.
Yeah, but that Cleveland game was atrocious to watch. The Celtics just give that one away. You know, they got out of there with a win.
No, what?
But
no, they came back from 14 down.
I'm saying it was atrocious. But early on in the game, they were, it was like 50-50. I'm just saying, all of a sudden the game got away from them, and we want to talk about these guys
being fought through it. Come on.
Yeah, but
you gotta believe in that.
But we want to talk about these guys as playoff contenders and actually making it to the Eastern Conference Finals when they can't even beat Cleveland by more than 10 points without Kyrie Irving, without Verjao. Cleveland's awful.
Yeah, they are. They're terrible. And, if Jeff Green can't dominate them, then we're in trouble.
I agree. So, I mean, we just, again, we're coming down to the final stretch here. Get in the playoffs, get hot at the right time, and we'll see how far that they can carry this. Let's hope to remain optimistic, guys. I do want to move on to our final topic, which is going to be NFL football. Obviously, a flurry of moves, but not just with the Patriots, but across the NFL. But we will start with a Patriot-centric topic. Sebastian Vollmer re-signing with the Patriots. Brian, again, we'll start with you. How big is this?
Oh, it's very huge. He was a big part of the he was a big part of the Patriots game plan. It's good to have him back. I wish I knew the details of the contract. Anyone know the details of the contract?
It's through 2016. I don't know the money. It's through 2016 though.
All right. Well, 3 years is good enough.
Let's put it this way. Obviously, the tackle position is a position that Belichick puts a very high value on. Drafting Solder in the first round and also re-signing Vollmer as well. And it's obviously a position that they, see Vollmer in coming up in the future. And I mean, having a big, tough offensive line is definitely a key to any offense. And I think it gives Brady. Everyone talks about losing Welker. Well, he would have been really upset if he lost Vollmer. Let's put it that way. Welker is a lot more easily replaced than Vollmer is.
I completely agree with that. And I think we should have all known that Vollmer wasn't going anywhere. When Brady took the pay cut, I mean, the money was going to go somewhere to replace these guys. And it's great to see they got Talib. It's great to see they got Vollmer. And actually, they've got that guy Svitek that they picked up as a veteran. That they're deep at O-line. I think that the Patriots really solidified their O-line for the next few years, and that's huge with Brady. You got to protect Brady.
I mean, when you're talking about arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, you look at his line. It has Nate Solder on one tackle, and on the right tackle you've got Sebastian Vollmer, and then you've got Logan Mankins. So obviously you've got a good situation. Last year, heading into the season, we didn't know what was going on with the line. I mean, Logan Mankins, we still didn't know if he was 100%. Nate Solder, we didn't know if he was going to be able to take over from Matt Light. We didn't have any idea about Brian Waters. Is he coming back? Is he not? Now we have an idea of what's going on, and I think that's huge. The one thing I will say about Vollmer, though, is the injuries are a concern.
True. You're absolutely right.
The back issues in the past. That's the one thing that I am. But when he's healthy, he's a force on the right side. So I am thrilled about the Vollmer signing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely, 100%. I mean, that is a big issue, but you got to also think that they had this plan all along, is that they were going to re-sign Vollmer, and Vollmer was probably their number one thing they needed that they felt like that was the most important move on offense. Welker pushed the market. Welker went out and got another deal, and that's really why Welker left. If the Patriots gave Welker an offer and told him take it or leave it, and Welker left, and he didn't take the deal. So what he did is he went to another team, got the offer, and thought he was going to come back to the Pats and kind of negotiate that, and that's not what happened. That's not the way they were going to do business. They'd kind of already moved on, it seems like,
Right.
Yeah, they've definitely moved on from Welker. I mean, at this point, it's past tense. We can't really dwell on something like that.
Yeah.
And, I think the Patriots have done a solid job so far with the free agency month and putting together a good foundation for a solid 2013 season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, who did they go out and get? They just got Michael Jenkins, right, who formerly played with the Minnesota Vikings. They went out and got Donald Jones. Emmanuel Sanders is still in place. So they are looking at sort of retooling the offense and bringing in guys that can fit the mold. Obviously, Michael Jenkins is no star, but he can give you 600, 700 yards in a offense like that. I mean, isn't that what he did with Minnesota?
Can I write that down, Ajish? How many yards is Michael Jenkins going to have?
Put it up.
700?
800. 800. I'm putting 800.
All right, that's going.
Go ahead. Hey,
Okay.
$10, Jake. $10.
Okay,
650 yards.
those are both going down in my notebook. We got Will Mitterbrooks at 36 home runs.
You know what?
we got-
Hey guys, you know what
30.
Jake is becoming? You know what Jake is becoming? He's becoming Dustin Pedroia, and that's his list. He's keeping a list of all the dumb stuff that we say.
Well, I think if they go out and get Emmanuel Sanders, if they somehow work that out, they have a decent receiving core. I think that Donald Jones, nobody knows about this kid. He's a decent body. He's fast. I mean, let him work with Brady. Let all these guys work with Brady. And, Amendola, next thing you know, he's going to be one of the best wide receivers in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I mean, Jake, just to go back to your thing, I just looked up his stats from last year, 449 yards. You don't think he can get 151 more yards?
Yeah.
151 more yards? Come on.
No, wait. How many did he have? It's actually written down as 800. If you see.
Well, that was Brian.
That was Brian. I said 600. Yeah.
You guys were getting a little. You guys were getting a little excited about Donald Jones.
Well, okay. Since
I said Michael.
Greatest left-handed pitcher of all time, Jake.
Honestly, I want to go back and say
He's not top 5.
I want to say that he might be top 3 lefties in New York Yankees history, not in Major League history.
Yeah. It's too
Randy Johnson, Koufax. Who else?
CC Sabathia.
Number 3.
Johan?
Yeah, CC's way
No. Johan Santana. Really?
Yeah.
Johan Santana's so bad. So bad.
Recently, oh man, that's such a mess. But
He
hey
hasn't
guys,
played baseball.
let's get back to the NFL stuff. I do want to run some stuff by you guys. Tyrann Mathieu worked out with the Patriots recently. What do you think about that? The Honey Badger, possibly.
The Honey Badger.
What do you think about that?
I think that he's probably going to get a look from a lot of teams. I mean, he hasn't played football in a year. That's not something that's good. A guy that
Kicked out of LSU.
Yeah, he had some off-the-field issues, but that's never seemed to be a problem with anybody in the defensive backfield for the Patriots. I mean, they have quite a rap sheet when you go through Talib and Denard. He would probably fit right in, actually.
Oh yeah. There's 3 peas in a pod right there.
That's
the thing. That's the thing with Belichick. He's like, oh, you failed a drug test? Here's a jersey.
He's not that.
Here's a jersey.
Hernandez failed a drug test when he was with Florida.
Right. No, exactly. I mean.
And obviously, and this is a pretty good draft. I mean, obviously, you've got Tyrann Mathieu, who we mentioned. Tavon Austin's name has come up.
Love that.
As a guy that the Patriots can target on offense. So, I do look forward to the draft. I am interested in seeing who they go after. And you know what? This year, I'm not really all that worried about the Pittsburgh Steelers, who lost Mike Wallace, who will be
big
banged
time.
up.
Good point.
I'm not all that worried about the Baltimore Ravens, who are falling on guys. Let's look at this. Anquan Bolden traded to the San Francisco 49ers. Okay. Bernard Pollard to Tennessee, who we'll talk about. Who else? Ellerbe is gone. Ray Lewis retired. Ed Reed is gone. You know why? Because that's what happens. That's what happens when you sign your quarterback Joe Flacco to a $120 million deal over 6 years.
But they brought in Dumerville. Though.
Good player.
Dumerville. We were talking about Dumerville last time and how the agents screwed up and messed up the paperwork. But, in general, I'm not as worried about these Ravens. They won the Super Bowl last year. I don't know if they can repeat it now with all these guys leaving.
Yeah, I agree.
Ray Rice. They still have Ray Rice. Ray Rice is a beast.
Yeah, Ray Rice is a top 3 back in the league.
Definitely
top
Brian,
5.
I didn't realize that football was a one-person sport. Wait, aren't there 52 other guys on the team?
Ooh, look at it, getting a little ring.
It doesn't matter, but Ray Rice can carry He can carry the ball like 70 times.
Put it on the list. Should I put it on the list?
Put it on the list. Ray Rice will single-handedly win the next Super Bowl for the Ravens.
Ray Rice will be the next. Ray Rice to win Super Bowl
He'll score 4 touchdowns. You watch.
Single-handedly. Come on, Fern.
The team that I think is going to have a big year coming back is the Miami Dolphins this year. Look out for them. Had some key signings. I think Tannehill's back for another year. He'll be a little bit more comfortable. You have their
Brandon
young running
Marshall.
back. No, Brandon Marshall's not on the Dolphins.
Chicago Bears.
Whoa.
Wait, let's scratch
What about the
that.
Buffalo Bills and Kevin Cole? Come
Guys,
on.
our credibility is
You can't-
dwindling with these recent comments here.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think one thing I'm really excited about, guys, in all seriousness, which is kind of funny, Bernard Pollard going to Tennessee, as we mentioned. The Patriots do not have the Titans on their schedule next year. Can we just say that this is a win for the Patriots?
Yeah,
Can we just say,
agree.
I mean, how many guys
Yes,
have you
no
taken
one
out?
will get hurt.
Tom Brady, Wes Welker, Rob Gronkowski, Aaron Hernandez. I mean, this guy is a Patriots killer. I don't know what his problem is.
Ridley. Don't forget about Ridley.
Ridley, there you go.
He hurt Ridley.
So we will not,
He
we will
murdered
not see Bernard Pollard
Ridley.
next year. That is an absolute, yeah. I really don't know what his problem is. He really hates the Patriots. I was actually hoping that they would go out and get Bernard Pollard. You know, he'd probably end up injuring one of our own guys.
You wouldn't want Tom Brady be like, all right, here we go, full force, guys.
All right, guys, I just want to wrap up on one last thing. Let's just go across the board here. Tony Romo, $108 million extension over 6 years with the Dallas Cowboys, $55 million guaranteed. Reaction from each of you. What do you guys think?
I like it.
No, Jerry Jones, what are you doing?
Yeah, he is the dumbest owner in the NFL, and I think this helps him that he has money at his disposal, and he loves to throw it away. He loves to throw $55 million away.
He's a moron.
Nah.
Hey, write
Yeah.
this down, Jake. Tony Romo will never win a Super Bowl.
Well, okay, Fern.
Yes.
Tony
Thank
Romo
you. Hey, you want-
throws
you want- put my
42
name on that.
touchdown
Put my
passes
name on
next
that
year.
too, I agree.
Okay.
Look, guys, before we, I just want to say this, okay? They took his base salary, they turned it into a signing bonus, gave him an extension and prorated it so they could bring their cap hit down for this year and create some space. They had like $75,000 in cap space. But you know what? Is it worth it to give him a 6-year extension just to create space this year? Just concede next year. He's not doing anything.
Who is going to
Yeah.
be the quarterback? That's what
Yeah,
that's
no,
what I'm
I think-
wondering.
Kid.
Somebody that wouldn't throw 25 picks.
Thank you, Fern. See, there you go. He threw 19 interceptions last year, guys. Come on.
Not 25. Come on, Fern.
The guy threw almost his touchdown to interception ratio was like 1. So okay, here's a touchdown. Here's a pick.
It's official. It's on the list. So
There. You know what, Jake? We're gonna keep that list going from now till whenever the show
it's
ends.
official.
And
So
all the stupid stuff that is said between the 4 of us is gonna be on that list from now on. Courtesy of Jake keeping track. Happy opening day to all of you. Baseball is back. We look forward to doing more of this with you guys. I'm Ashish Sharma with Brian Roach, Jake Banter, and John Arnold. Adios, amigos.